I really liked Dumaguete, but I was always worried about going down a rabbit hole, and I'll explain what I mean by going down a rabbit hole.
When you came here, you were single, and now you're in a relationship.
Yeah. Went on about 8 dates. They just didn't work out. I made up this long list of what I was looking for. So this lady was sitting next to me, and she said, well, what is that? So she's reading it. She said, I may have a girlfriend. And she gets on the phone. So there is an age gap. I'm not going to tell you what that is. She can give me a better life, and I can give her a better life.
This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, and today I'm delighted to have Tom on the channel. Tom?
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to have you on my channel.
Thank you.
Tom, first of all, I want to thank you for your service.
Oh, well, thank you.
In the military in the U.S. You were in a submarine.
I was.
And sometimes for months.
Yes.
Like, what's the longest you were ever underwater?
A little over 4 months.
4 months.
And that was on a fast attack sub. When I started out in subs, I was on what's called an SSBN, Polaris Missile Sub.
Yeah.
There's 2 crews, 3 months on, 3 months off, and you're about 3 months under the water.
Yeah.
But then I was transferred at the end of my career onto a fast attack. That was when Vietnam was winding down, and there was a lot of things we did that I didn't have the faintest idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
But we were actually out for about 4 months. We ran out of food. September came up, and you know, it's kind of cool. They have the lines, and they're, you know, bringing pallets of groceries down these lines to the sub.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. It was a good career. I only stayed in for 7 years.
Right.
But it got me school. So.
Oh, cool.
Which helped.
That's very nice. And so where are we sitting right now in the world, and where are you from?
Okay, I'm from the United States. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Grew up in Pennsylvania. Wife and I lived out in California for about 20 years, and then after she got sick, we moved back because that's where all the kids were. Back east, because they went to school back there.
Yeah.
And then where we are sitting is, to me, is probably one of the most beautiful places in the world, to me.
Yeah.
And it's Roxas City in the Philippines.
How long have you been here now?
I've been here a little over 1 year and 3 months.
Year and 3 months. What made you say, you know what, I'm going to go check out the world? Maybe I won't spend my entire retirement in the U.S. or whatever. What made you make that decision?
So about 8 years ago, my wife passed away.
Okay.
From breast cancer, and took it hard. My daughter moved in where I live.
Yeah.
And she kind of talked me into, and my other kids into, maybe I want to do some traveling.
Yeah.
I watched you with the solo traveling. I thought, maybe I can do this, you know?
Yeah.
I got all your, I'm still on your email. I got all your information that it was downloaded.
Wow.
Started reading that, and it wasn't really going to be traveling to, you know, run a blog or make money or anything. But it was kind of nice to read yours and figure out where to stay.
Yeah.
How to figure out how long you want to stay. And so once my wife passed away and my kids talked me into it, that's when I started traveling. And I went to Ireland first. Loved it. Made the mistake of going on a tour, and that lasted 2 months and 2 weeks. And I said goodbye, and I went off on my own because the train system there is awesome.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went to China. Spent about 3 months there, and then I went to Vietnam. Spent another 3 months, and then COVID hit.
Right.
And I went nowhere.
So were you in Vietnam during COVID, or did you fly home?
I just got out.
Okay.
Just got out before they closed the country.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you where you were stuck in the Philippines.
Yeah, you do watch our videos.
In Dumaguete. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and so then as soon as the Philippines was open, I did my what's called boots on the ground thing.
Yeah.
And I actually fell in love with the Philippines. I mean, I really don't even, for right now, I don't have to go out of country. There's too many islands and all things to see here.
Yeah.
And then I try to go back at least twice a year to see my grandkids.
Yeah.
I'll be heading back the end of June.
Right.
I'll stay there a month, and then I'll come back.
Right.
I may skip Christmas because the cold weather really gets to me now. Yeah. Last time I was back, I got pneumonia.
Oh, yes. Wow. Oh, yeah.
So once I did the boots on the ground, I Went to a bunch of islands, spent about a week in each one trying to figure things out, but I kept always going back to Dumaguete.
Yeah.
And I really didn't stay in Dumaguete, I stayed in Darwin.
Okay, yeah.
And I absolutely loved Darwin.
Yeah, Darwin's, yeah.
Learned how to scuba dive.
Oh, wow.
By Critter Hunter.
Right.
And then I ended up renting a place right in Dumaguete, a place called 𝗏𝗏, not too far from City Mall. Yeah. And I lived there for about a year and a half, met a lady. After 8 months, it didn't work out, and watched Michael Smith's blog, Filipino Life.
I think it's called That Filipino.
Yeah, That Filipino Life.
Life, yeah.
And then he was coming up here to 𝗏𝗏, so I jumped on the scooter and came up from Dumaguete to 𝗏𝗏 and planned on staying 3 days, and I ended up staying about 8. Rented a small studio apartment in a condo, and packed my bags and came up here, and been here ever since, and I absolutely love it. We just moved. We were living in San Antonio Village, and we just moved about 4 minutes down the road. We really wanted to get our own furniture and everything, so we rented an unfurnished place. It's like a row home.
Okay.
You know what a row home is? 2 homes next to each other.
And
we have the one
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. 2 bedrooms, 2-story. So it's nice. We like it. Good landlord. But we love this area. All our friends are here. I've made a lot of friends, and I have a few really good friends. And they're not just expats. They're Filipinos.
Right.
Probably my best friend is a Filipino.
Wow.
And but I absolutely love it here.
Yeah.
Really do.
Yeah. How would you characterize it as compared to Dumaguete?
A lot of people ask me that. So I really like Dumaguete, and I made a lot of very good friends, and they have a very good infrastructure. But I was always worried about going down a rabbit hole, and I'll explain what I mean by going down a rabbit hole. There are a lot of expats there that they go into the bar at 12 noon, and maybe 8 o'clock they leave.
Yeah.
Well, a couple times, and I'm not a big drinker, but a couple times I found myself going to lunch up in North Point, and ended up, I was there till 7 o'clock at night, and I thought, okay, this is not good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of infrastructure around there, so, and then I decided that maybe I need, to get away from it, so I checked out 𝗏𝗏, and here I am.
Here you are.
But there are a lot of expats in Dumaguete, and it is a great place, it really is.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, we love Dumaguete also, but there are many islands in the Philippines, and we're having a great time here too.
Yeah.
So when you came here, you were single, and now you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Did you meet online? Did you
No,
meet in
I don't
person?
do online.
You don't do online?
I don't do online.
Okay.
So I did the dating thing.
Okay.
And so I used Facebook and friend people, and then we would start chit-chatting back and forth.
Yeah.
Went on about 8 dates. And to me, after one date, you don't really get to know the person. You really want to go on a second date or a third date.
Yeah.
And I always tried to tell them, I'm not trying to string you along, but I need to make sure that there's a connection here.
Right, of course.
And so eight of them, they just didn't work out. And to me, it was very difficult to tell them that this isn't going to work. And then some of them didn't particularly like it. Why did you, go out with me for 3 dates? And, and I said, well, I was honest and upfront with it. So I went back to the United States for 2 months last year during the summer to be with all the kids, because my house has a swimming pool and everything, and all my sons are school teachers, and so everybody hangs out at the pool all day.
At your U.S. house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I decided that, and I have a lot of friends that do this, even in Dumaguete, they have not a caregiver, but a caretaker. And you can have a choice with a caretaker, is either stay in,
right,
or she comes in the morning and leaves in the evening.
Yeah.
With my kids are a little worried about me because of my age.
Yeah.
That when I go to sleep at night, if I had to get up and I slip and fall, there's nobody there.
Right.
So I made up this long list of what I was looking for a caretaker.
Right.
And started out with stay in. And I was going to start her out and the top range would be like around 15,000 pesos
a
month. So the lady that I am with now, Well, what I did was, as I went around the 𝗪𝗏 stores and gave them the list of what I was looking for.
So you gave a flyer that said, I'm looking for a caretaker.
Yes, and here's what I need.
Comes in the
laundry,
morning, leaves in the afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, laundry,
Yes.
whatever, house cleaning.
Stay in.
Okay.
So I went to the Beaver, and I'm handing it out
The
to
Canadian Beaver, the bar.
Yes.
Okay.
So this lady was sitting next to me, and she said, well, what is that? So she's reading it. She says, I may have a girlfriend. And she gets on the phone, and she's calling this girl who's interested. So then her and I, we, did the Facebook thing and exchanged. And then she lived in 𝗙𝗏, started chit-chatting back and forth, and here we are. And it's been 9 months. So there is an age gap. I'm not going to tell you what that is. We're both honest and truthful. We love each other, but we also, she can give me a better life, and I can give her a better life. So
Sure.
and we both realize this, so the whole thing works.
Yeah.
It's really good.
That's great.
And we've been together for 9 months, so we'll see what happens after a year.
So expats live in the Philippines at all different price points. What, to the extent you know, what's like a range?
I'm comfortable talking about what I do. I have friends can live off of 1,200.
Okay.
But they own their own home, so they don't have to pay rent or
Right,
anything.
right.
But they spent their 401k on building the home.
Okay.
So they didn't have to pay rent, and then they live off of Social Security, which is about 1,200 a month.
Okay. Okay.
I have other friends a couple of friends from Australia. They probably range around 1,500
1,500
US.
US. Okay.
And me, my budget right now is about 1,600.
Okay.
That includes going out to dinner. We go out once a week, sometimes twice a week. We shop food local.
Yeah.
We go up to a place called 𝗂𝐻𝐿 up there. We know all the people up there. We buy all our fruits, all our vegetables, all our meat from the locals. We don't go to the supermarket because we
Right.
want to be able to support the locals.
Yeah, of course.
And
You can look them in the eyes and give them money. That's much better than some
yes.
huge building with
yes,
employees that are being paid minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the supermarkets are double price.
And they know us, and they
Yeah.
don't do the little skin tax. JB goes around
Yeah.
and gets all the stuff. They know our names
Yeah,
because we always go back to the same place. Plus, there's fish up there.
yeah.
But we eat very, very well. I'm on a kick of non-processed foods. I don't
Okay.
want to eat any processed food.
yeah, agreed.
Helps with the inflammation.
All right.
Helps with any of my lung issues that I have. So, and the only time we go to the supermarket, we need trash bags. But then I also have a budget. I also put money away for travel.
For travel. Okay.
And I put about 700 US in another bank account, and that's strictly travel. And I only use that for travel. And then we have our normal living money, and then we have our travel money.
Okay.
We went to 𝗏𝗏𝗏 for a couple times. We enjoy that up there, and then we'll go. Sometimes we'll just say, okay, well let's go to a really nice hotel and enjoy ourselves and
Yeah.
enjoy the swimming pool and just relax and hang out at the bar if we want and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
We took a trip to Dumaguete. On the way back, we were only going to spend 1 day, and we spent 3 days in 𝗪𝗏𝗏.
Okay.
Absolutely loved it. Beautiful white beaches and everything.
Yeah.
So now that I'm going back to America, we're not doing any travel this month or next month. And then when I get back for my birthday in September, I've never been to 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Okay.
I mean, how close Dumaguete is to 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, of course.
Been to 𝗪𝗏𝗏 quite a few. Never been to 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, of course.
And I can fly out of Iloilo for the both of us for about 3,400 pesos round trip.
Wow.
So I'm
For
planning
both of you.
the both of us.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and it's like a 45-minute flight.
Yeah.
So I actually already booked it. And we're going to go September 15th and stay 4 days because I'm interested in 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Would I move there? Yeah, you never know. I don't know. That's the nice thing about renting and not building a house. A lot of my friends build houses. I like having the option of, okay, my lease is up here. Do we want to stay or do we want to go somewhere else? And I'm really interested. I've watched some other blogs on 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Not to stay in Panglao, but other parts of the island. And I like to travel. I like adventure. We go out fishing in the fishing boats.
Yeah.
And you know what the fishing boats are like here. There's no seats. They got a piece of wood sticking out and you're sitting on that.
Yeah,
So we both enjoy adventure. Can't go 300 steps down and back up again to look at a waterfall. She can, but I can't. I know my limitations. I know what I can do and what I can't do.
With that budget, is it $700 a month you put aside for travel?
Yeah.
With that budget and with your home in the U.S. and you maintain the one for your life here for $1,600. Talk about adventure. Wow.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, was this something you had thought up, or has this just come about?
No, watching your blog, watching a bunch of other blogs.
Yeah.
And my kids talking me into doing some solo travel.
Yeah.
Which I did. And I'm fine being alone. It's great having my girlfriend. She's wonderful. She takes care of me. Great cook. But I'm also okay to be alone. I mean, she's very close to her family. She's the oldest. Her family lives in 𝗙𝗢, which is about 2 hours from here. About every other week, she goes back for a couple of days. It's kind of nice to be alone for a little while.
So how would you answer this question? Don't come to the Philippines if you think it's going to be...
If you think it's going to be a perfect place, because it is not. There's a lot of poverty. There's infrastructure issues. You have to come here, spend time here, immerse yourself within the culture.
And do come to the Philippines if you want
a wonderful life, a wonderful, affordable life that if you can live off of Social Security, I don't suggest living for, on $1,000 a month. You could do it, but it would be just a horrible life. But if you have at least $1,500 or more, using that for your daily living, you could find a wonderful place and live very, very well. Much better than the United States.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing, there's no politics. At least I don't,
Yeah.
I'm so tired of politics.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
So what about safety? Do you feel safe in the Philippines?
Very much so. When I first got here, I spent 2 weeks in Manila. I'm a walker.
Yeah.
And there was times at 8 o'clock at night, I'd be walking around the area and always felt safe. Very safe here. I felt safe in Dumaguete. So a lot of times I'll take a trike or I'll walk somewhere.
Yeah.
So always felt very safe.
You drive a scooter.
Of course.
And
it's like freedom.
It is freedom. And so what are your thoughts about that? Was that your first time on a motorcycle, or have you rode motorcycles your whole life?
No, it was about my second or third time. I drove a motor scooter in China, and I drove a motor scooter in Vietnam. Now,
you are adventurous.
Well, hold it now. I never really drove it to downtown Da Nang because that's crazy there. So I usually tried to get a hotel that was kind of on the outskirts, and I would figure out how to skirt around, so never had to go into the city.
Yeah.
But when I went to the boots on the ground in Dumaguete, the reason why I stayed in Dawon was that national highway.
Yeah.
So I got a scooter and I practiced.
Okay.
And then one day I decided, okay, you know how Dumaguete is.
Yeah.
I went into Dumaguete and I navigated it and did okay.
Yeah.
And then I eventually just started getting used to it. You just take your time and watch out for the truck drivers. Then at night you saw the street food here.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
A lot of times we'll just come up here and have the street food.
Yeah, and you're talking how much for one of those, a meal on the street like that?
200 pesos.
200 pesos.
For both of us.
Yeah.
Now, if we have something to drink, alcohol-wise, then it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
But a lot of places don't even serve alcohol.
Any tips, someone new thinking of coming here, stuff you wish you knew before you came?
So when I moved to Dumaguete permanently, the first thing I did was buy a motor scooter, and that was a mistake. It was a real hassle moving up here with a scooter. If you're not sure whether you're going to stay at a place, just rent a motor scooter. Try to always rent for like 6 months. That's usually you can get a pretty decent price for it.
How much for 6 months? Maybe not from your memory, if you do, on Dumaguete.
So in Dumaguete, I had a 2-bedroom apartment on the 2nd floor. And it was, for the 6 months, it was $20,000 a month.
No, I meant the scooter, but that's good too. That's good too.
Okay, I have a Honda PCX 160 scooter, and I paid, with the discounts, about 136,000 pesos.
Okay, it's a nice
So that
scooter.
wasn't bad.
That's not bad, yeah. I like your point about don't buy a scooter and don't buy property. You lose, at least in the first, what would you say, year, 6 months? How long would you wait before you make those decisions?
Over a year. maybe even longer than a year.
Yeah.
You figure I was in Dumaguete for almost a year and a half, and all of a sudden I just, I got the bug, and it was time for me to leave.
Yeah, and if you had a property there you had to sell, or
Yes, and it's very, very hard to sell here.
yeah. One of the things I find to be true that you also have is that you have to make local friends too. It can't be all expats, because there's things you learn
Yes.
and places you can go and things you can do and things you will never understand if all of your friends are expats.
That's correct. So yes, it's very important to have local friends that are Filipinos.
You've lived an amazing life, and you're ending it with this adventure, if you will, in retirement. What kind of difference does that make?
This ebook shares the 3 big mistakes that expats make when they retire overseas. To get a free copy, either scan this QR code with your smartphone or click the second link in the notes below this YouTube video.
What kind of difference does that make? What's it feel like?
I feel like every morning I wake up living in paradise. First, I thank God I woke up and I'm breathing every morning. We go to the gym about 5 days a week. Sometimes on the off days, we'll come up here and walk the beach in the morning. I can do almost anything I want to do. And she goes right along with it. I never dreamed of this. And like I said, when my wife passed away, I was totally lost and didn't know what to do. Because when we were younger, and when I was in the military, I took a month's European leave, and her and I don't think we were married at the time. We backpacked all over Europe for a month. That kind of gave me the bug. And then we had kids, but we traveled, and then was transferred to California. We lived in California, we lived in Arizona, we lived in New Mexico. So we were kind of like vagabonds until the kids were older. We moved all over the place.
Well, Tom, it's been a joy meeting you and knowing you. I thank you for coming on and giving people hope.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Click the link in the upper right-hand corner of your screen right now to see all of the best places to live in the Philippines.